I'm Mango, and recently someone reached out asking if I had any basic game knowledge I could share in order to better understand and enjoy the game. Thanks for reaching out, and here's my personal 5 fundamental tips that you can learn right now. Starting off with number 1, we're going to be picking an agent. There's currently 15 agents in the game as of this recording, but to keep things simple, they're all categorized in 4 subclasses: Duelist, Initiator, Controller, and Sentinel. You can see which agent is assigned to which in their agent select screen or the contract page above their name. Ideally, you want your duelists to be seeing things through first, alongside initiators utilizing their abilities with them to take these first contact fights. Controllers will follow up using their support abilities and most importantly their smoke abilities, covering off unwanted angles. Sentinels will be the absolute last to follow up, but their utility is really great for holding flanks or parts of the map that won't be watched all the time. For each subclass, I would recommend trying Jet or Phoenix in the Duelist class, Brimstone or Omen for Controller, Sova for Initiator, and Sage or Killjoy for Sentinel. You can also unlock them all throughout time and just see which ones stick to you the best. Moving on to number 2, we're going to be learning the basic economy. One thing that I absolutely want to stress is if you win pistol round, buy a Spectre and light armor. Momentum is very important in Valorant because of the economy system. If you lose and cannot buy a Phantom or Vandal with heavy armor and or your abilities, ideally you'd want your abilities too, this is also called a full buy, then save your money. The rule of thumb when saving when you lose is having at least 2,000 credits or around that number for the next round to buy a Phantom or Vandal. Number 3 is learning abilities. This fundamental ties in with the first in finding which agents you enjoy playing. It's very important to know what every agent abilities do and how people use them against people. You can learn abilities in your own time, but I learned a lot from watching pros and high-ranked players. A great example of this is Viper. People have lineups for her Molotovs and Smoke Orb for certain areas. Jet players can get creative with their movement abilities and smokes. Number 4, attacking site basic strategies. Duelists will go first, paired with the initiators. They'll both use their abilities to make first contact fights easier to win. Controllers will use their support abilities and smokes to make taking space and a site easier too. Sentinels will follow up last, and their abilities are great for holding the site, and especially for keeping your flank safe. If you and your team are dying when walking to a site, and the enemies are sort of in your territory, it's time to hold a default. This strategy is when you wait for the aggressive enemies to push into you, and you kill them. Here's an example of A site sewer of Haven. Lastly, number 5, here's defending site basic strategies. You could start off by having 2 people on one site, 2 on the other, and 1 at mid. If you find yourself liking to play controllers, you can be the mid controller and use your smoke to keep the mid area. If you like playing the other 3 category of agents, over time you'll find which sites you like playing on each map. Make sure once you find the site you like to hold for each map to stick to it majority of the time, especially in long matches. It's great to start playing slow on defense and letting the enemy come to your site and respond with your abilities. If your site is being overrun, ask one more person to play in your area, especially sentinels to slow down the enemy's aggression. If the opposite is being overrun repeatedly, take action and let your folks know you'll help them out on defending. One last strategy is, if you know for sure that the enemy team fully pushes areas altogether, then you can try flanking them. Make sure your team knows so that they'll try their best to stall them so you can catch them off guard. And that's all. If you liked what you saw and thought it was helpful, make sure to leave a like and share this video with some other beginner Valorant friends of yours so that you all can dominate your opponents in your future matches. Subscribe if you're new, and hit the bell too so you get notified every time I upload a new Valorant video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.